You are welcome to this Ultimate AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner practice section. In this video, I have carefully compiled questions and answers that are exam style, designed to help you master the core concept of AWS and confidently pass your exams. If you are serious about passing the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam on your first attempt, you are in the right place. Now, let us get started. Question number 1. AWS allows users to manage their resources using a web-based user interface. What is the name of this interface? A. AWS CLI, B. AWS API, C. AWS SDK, and D. AWS Management Console. The answer is AWS Management Console. It is the web-based graphical user interface for managing AWS services. You can pause the video and read up the explanation of other options and why they are not correct in this context. Question number 2. Which of the following is an example of horizontal scaling in the AWS cloud? A. Replacing an existing EC2 instance with a larger, more powerful one. B. Increasing the compute capacity of a single EC2 instance to address the growing demands of an application. C. Adding more RAM capacity to an EC2 instance. D. Adding more EC2 instances of the same size to handle an increase in traffic. The correct answer is D. Adding more EC2 instances of the same size to handle an increase in traffic is the correct choice for what this question is all about. Question number 3. You have noticed that several critical Amazon EC2 instances have been terminated. Which of the following AWS services would help you determine who took this action? Option A, Amazon Inspector, B, AWS Cloud Trail, C, AWS Trusted Advisor, D, EC2 Instance Usage Report. The correct answer is option B, AWS Cloud Trail. It is the service that records API calls and account activity for governance and auditing. You can pause the video and read up why other options are not correct in this context. Question number 4. Which of the below options are related to the reliability of AWS? Choose 2. A. Applying the principle of least privilege to all AWS resources. B. Automatically provisioning new resources to meet demand. C. All AWS services are considered global services, and this helps customers serve their international users. D. Providing compensation to customers if issues occurs. E. Ability to recover quickly from failures. The correct answer is B and E. Automatically provisioning new resources to meet demand. AWS actually does this in what is known as auto-scaling. Then ability to recover quickly from failures is also correct, but in this context. You can pause the video to read up why other options are not necessarily correct under this context. Question number 5. Which statement is true regarding the AWS shared responsibility model? A. Responsibility varies depending on the services used. B. The security of the IaaS infrastructure as service is the responsibility of AWS. C. Patching the guest operating system is always the responsibility of AWS. D. Security of the managed services is the responsibility of the customer. The answer is A. Responsibilities vary depending on the services used. In this case, this is the correct answer for this particular question. You can read up why other options are not necessarily correct under this instance. The detailed explanation is right here on the video. Question number 6. You have set up consolidated deal for several AWS accounts. One of the accounts has purchased a number of reserved instances for 3 years. Which of the following is true regarding this scenario? The reserved instance discount can only be shared with the master account. B, all accounts can receive the hourly cost benefit of the reserved instances. C, the purchased instances will have better performance than on-demand instances. D, there are no cost benefit from using consolidated billing. It is for informational purpose only. The answer is D. All accounts can receive the hourly cost benefits of the reserved instance. It is the correct choice for this particular question. You can pause the video to read up what other options seem incorrect under this context. Question number 7. A company has developed an e-commerce web application in AWS. What should they do to ensure that the application has the highest level of availability? A. Deploy the application across multiple AWS zones and edge locations. B. Deploy the application across multiple availability zones and subnets. C. Deploy the application across multiple regions and availability zones. D. Deploy the application across multiple VPCs and subnets. The answer is C. Deploy the application across multiple regions and availability zones. Deploying application across multiple regions and availability zones ensures that the company has the highest level of availability and thus is the correct choice for this question. Question number 8. What does AWS Snowball provide? Choose 2. A. Built-in computing capabilities that allow customers to process data locally. B. A catalog of third-party software solutions that customers need to build solutions and run their businesses. C. A hybrid cloud storage between on-premise environments and the AWS cloud. D. Exabyte scale data transfer service that allows you to move extremely large amounts of data to AWS. E. Secure transfer of large amounts of data into and out of AWS. The answers are A and E. Built-in computing capabilities that allow customers to process data locally. This is one of the features of AWS Snowball, and secure transfer of large amount of data in and out of AWS. You can pause the video to see more about other options. Question number 9. A company has an AWS Enterprise Support Plan. They want quick and efficient guidance with their billing and account inquiries. Which of the following should the company use? A. AWS Help Dashboard. B. AWS Support Concierge. C. AWS Customer Service. D. AWS Operations Support. The answer is B. AWS Support Concierge. It is a billing and account specialist team that is usually included with the Enterprise Support Plan. Question number 10. A Japanese company hosts the applications on Amazon EC2 instances in the Tokyo region. The company has opened new branches in the United States, and the US users are complaining of high latency. What can the company do to reduce the latency for the users in the US while minimizing cost? Option number A. Apply the Amazon Connect latency-based routing policy. B. Registering a new US domain name to serve the users in the US. C. Building a new data center in the US and implementing a hybrid model. D. Deploying new Amazon EC2 instances in a region located in the US. The answer is obviously D. Deploying new Amazon EC2 instances in a region located in the US is the best suitable answer to solve this scenario. Question number 11. An organization has a large number of technical employees who operate their AWS cloud infrastructure. What does AWS provide to help organize them into teams and then assign the appropriate permissions for each of them? Option E, IAM role. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Option B, IAM users. Option C, IAM user groups. Option D, AWS organization. The correct answer here is IAM user groups. This enables organizations to group their users into teams and assign each team a particular set of permission. For example, you can put developers into a particular group named developers and assign them access to all the resources that the developers need to carry out their job. Question number 12. A company has decided to migrate its Oracle database to AWS. Which AWS service can help achieve this without negatively impacting the functionality of the resource database? Option A, AWS OpsWork. Option B, AWS Database Migration Service. Option C, AWS Server Migration Service. Option D, AWS Application Discovery Service. Obviously, answer is Database Migration Service. This is the best service here amongst all other options because what is being migrated is the database. The AWS Database Migration Service is a service that migrates database to AWS with little downtime. Question number 13. Adjusting compute capacity dynamically to reduce cost is an implementation of which AWS Cloud best practice? Option A, build security every layer. B, parallelize stacks. C, implement elasticity. D, adopt monolithic architecture. The correct answer is implement elasticity. He refers to automatic scaling of resources up and down as demand changes. That is what elasticity stands for in AWS, and that is the right answer here. Question number 14. What are the benefits of having infrastructure hosted in AWS? Choose 2. A, increasing speed and agility. B, there is no need to worry about security. C, gaining complete control over physical infrastructure. D, operating applications on behalf of customers. E, all of the physical security and most of the data/network security are taken care of for you. The correct answers are increasing speed and agility, A, and all of the physical security and most of the data network security are taken care of for you. This is very correct. Increasing speed and agility is correct. It is the ability to experiment and deploy quickly at low cost. All of the physical security and most of the data network security are taken care of for you is also correct. It is a statement about the AWS shared responsibility model. AWS secures the cloud itself, that is the hardware hypervisor facilities, while the customer secures what they put in it, which include the data, guest operating system patching, and access. So AWS is responsible for the security of the cloud, while the users are responsible for the security in the cloud. Question number 15. What is the advantage of the AWS recommended practice of decoupling application? Option A, allows treating an application as a single cohesive unit. B, reduces interdependencies so that failures do not impact other components of the application. C, allows updates of any monolithic application quickly and easily. D, allows tracking of any API call made to any AWS service. The correct answer is B, reduces interdependency so that failures do not impact other components of the application is the correct choice for what this question is asking of. You can achieve this using SNS and SQS. Option A is basically talking about a monolithic application, so definitely not the answer. Option D, more or less describing the cloud threat. So we are definitely not going to take that as an answer. You can read up, pause the video and read up why other options are not correct under these circumstances. Moving on to the next question, number 16. Which of the following helps a customer view the Amazon EC2 billing activity for the past month? Option A, AWS budget. Option B, AWS pricing calculator. Option C, AWS systems manager. Option D, AWS cost and usage reports. The correct answer here is AWS cost and usage report. It is the most detailed line item record of all your AWS usage and charges. Question number 17. What do you gain from setting up consolidated billing for 5 different AWS accounts under A? AWS services cost can be reduced to half the original price. B, the consolidated billing feature is just for organizational purpose. C, each AWS account gets volume discount. D, each AWS account gets 5 times the free tier services capacity. C is the correct option. Each AWS account gets volume discount, and this is the right answer. You can read up why other options are not correct when you pause the video. Question number 18. What should you do in order to keep the data on EBS volume safe? Choose to A, regularly update firmware on EBS devices. B, create EBS snapshot. C, ensure that EBS data is encrypted at rest. D, store a backup daily in an external drive. E, prevent unauthorized access to AWS data centers. The correct answers are B and C. Create EBS snapshot, which is a point-in-time storage of EBS volume. It's a block storage volume attached to a single EC2 instance, and ensure that EBS data is encrypted at rest as well. This keeps the information on the elastic block storage volumes safe. Question number 19. One of the most important AWS best practices to follow is the cloud architecture principle of elasticity. How does this principle improve your architecture's design? A, by automatically scaling your on-premise resources based on changes in demand. B, by automatically scaling AWS resource and elastic load balancer. C, by reducing interdependencies between application components wherever possible. D, by automatically provisioning required AWS resources based on changes in demand. The correct answer is D, by automatically provisioning the required AWS resources based on changes in demand. Option B, you cannot scale. For option B, you cannot actually scale AWS resources using a load balancer. You do that using auto scaling, not load balancer. Load balancer ensures that load is evenly distributed among the servers or resources, as the case may be. And option E, what made it obviously wrong is because it's mentioning on-premises. We're talking about AWS, not on-premises resources. You can pause the video and look up other options as well. On to question number 20. A startup company is operating on limited funds and is extremely concerned about cost overruns. Which of the below options can be used to notify the company when their monthly AWS bill exceeds $2,000? Choose 2. A. Set up a CloudWatch billing alarm that triggers an SNS notification when the threshold is exceeded. B. Configure the Amazon Simple email service to send billing alerts to the email addresses on a daily basis. C. Configure the AWS budget service to alert the company when the threshold is exceeded. D. Configure AWS Cloud Practitioner to automatically delete all AWS resources when the threshold is exceeded. E. Configure the Amazon Connect service to alert the company when the threshold is exceeded. The correct answer are A and C. Set up a CloudWatch billing alarm that triggers an SNS notification when the threshold is exceeded. This is correct. It can be done. Configure the AWS budget service to alert the company when the threshold is exceeded. This too is correct. In fact, it is the easiest to do using the AWS console. This is the end of this video for now. We are going to continue in the next video. So see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can get all you need to ace your cloud practitioner exam in one sitting.